What if success wasn't just about hard work, but about mastering your mindset? Hi, I'm Julianne Meyer, and this is Seizing Your Greatness, the show that dives deep into the defining moments of thought leaders, change makers, and entrepreneurs who are making a real impact. And today's guest is Erik Swanson, also known as Mr. Awesome, and he lives up to that moniker, I gotta tell you. He's a multi-time best-selling author, an international keynote speaker, and founder of the Habitude Warrior Conferences. He's shared the stages with none other than icons like Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, and Les Brown, to name just a few. And he is known for transforming lives through the powerful blend of positivity, mindset, and business mastery. So let's welcome Erik to the show. Welcome. So glad you're here.
I'm so excited. Oh my God. I was dancing in the green room. I love your green room. You're out of lobster, by the way. I've eaten it all.
I'll have to fire somebody for that.
You got to go back to Maine, get some more lobster in. By the way, side note, I've decided on my phone, every time someone texts me, I text back one emoji, and it's the lobster emoji. And I'm just testing it out for like a month. It's fun.
I love that because I'm sure people are like, what?
Yeah,
what
they're like
lobster.
Tuesdays, I always add a taco afterwards, so it's lobster tacos. And
ooh, now I'm hungry. Thanks for that.
Well, it's great to be here. I'm so excited.
And we're excited to have you here. Erik is a good friend of mine and somebody that we've had on the show in the past, in my last show. And I am honored and blessed to have you as a guest here. And hopefully we'll have you again soon. But in the meantime, let's talk about you.
If I do a good job today, then maybe we'll have
maybe.
It's a grading scale. Yeah.
Exactly. But as you can tell, Erik has a wonderful sense of humor, and he's a generous spirit and has a positive heart. And he's all the things that I think are wonderful in a human being, especially in a leader. So Erik, you've been on stages with all kinds of people. You're an author. You've done pretty much everything I could think of that is on my to-do checklist. And I'm just curious, with the positivity mindset, how do you personally, and what do you teach others when they are stuck in something like a negative thinking cycle? How do you get out of that?
Oh, really good question. So it's funny because I speak from experience. How many of us have gotten up and you stub your toe and then you throw your coffee out the window? I don't know why you'd throw it out the window, but anyway, things go crazy, and you're driving down the road and someone behind you has those lights, the red and the blue, and it's like, what are they doing? They're following you all. Anyway, so we all have like negative things that happen every now and then. So I decided, I was a police officer, by the way. So what I decided to do is I use something called Breathe 33. And I've developed this years and years ago. Well, I think God developed it, but I acquired it from him. And it's just simply breathing in for 3 seconds and really breathing in, okay, for 3 seconds, holding it for 3 seconds, and then letting it out for 3 seconds. And you're breathing in positivity, and then you're letting out the negativity. And I do that 3 times. And I do that throughout the day, at least 3 times a day. So it's fun. It's just like making that conscious mindset to say, wait, let's take a pause, right? And that's what the Breathe 33 is all about. And take that pause and say, okay, this is going to be better. It's okay. Don't worry. Things are going to happen. This too shall pass if you allow it to, right? Stop like laying in that to whatever is happening and let it pass, and then decide that you can change your mindset. And I have something else about that. You're like, look, I just asked you one question. Stop with the seminar, but here's the seminar. Check this out. So another thing that I've noticed, and I learned this from my father, which I love. And my father had passed away recently. I actually I've got a dog tag that says "No drama, serve others," and it's a whole story about when my father passed, and this really resonated with me. But one thing that my father had taught me years and years ago, when I was like in grade school and when I was a young guy, that if you think about it, let's say, like, I'll just be totally straightforward. I had a character building day yesterday. Okay. It was a character building day. we had to fire some people. By the way, the firing people is fun. Okay, if you're an entrepreneur and you own a company, or you have people that work for you or a team, I do. Whenever I fire somebody, don't tell anyone. This isn't live, is it? Okay, we're not recording, are we? So whenever I fire somebody, I go up to them, I go, there's good news and bad news. Which do you want first? And they're like, give me what. I go, it doesn't matter. They're both great news. Okay, you're fired. And I walk away. It's great. Anyway, so the point is, I'm kidding, sort of. The point is, I had a really character building day yesterday. And here's the cool part, that nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows unless you allow yourself to let other people know. I'm totally kidding about firing somebody, but I did have those thoughts like, oh, why that person? There's so many, like Julianne, you and I navigate a lot of personalities out there, not within ourselves, okay, but maybe, but other people, right? Other people, right? And we're navigating that. So what I do is I take a pause and I realize, and I take like a assessment of the day. And I did this last night, and I said, okay, who did I interact with yesterday? And then did I verbalize anything like I was frustrated or mad or something like that? No, I never did. And I apologize to the people that cut me off. I apologize to them, right? So it's just a little example. But the thing is, I actually thought about it, and I thought, nobody knows. It's okay. It's okay to have a character building day. It's the yin and yang, because then I'm going to have an awesome day today or tomorrow or day after, right? And it's that 80-20 rule that I play with, which is the Pareto principle. Did you ask me where I was from? What was the question before? Okay, so the Pareto principle is all the Pareto principle is all about 80-20, right? And I won't go through the whole principle. It's really cool. Vilfredo Pareto came up with it years and years ago. Italian economist. And the thing is, it's almost true in everything you do. I really like looking at like a 90-10. Like 90% of the time throughout the week, I'm going to have a great time. It's going to be awesome. And there's going to be some challenges, maybe 10-15% of the week, but that's okay. You can deal with that. Those are good odds. So back to you, ladies and gentlemen. The sponsor is Benjamin Franklin. What's up?
All about the money. No, you're not all about the money. However, it is energy. And for me, it represents how many people we help. So, and what we can do with that. So I'm glad you showed that, actually, because it's positive.
Well, I keep this. So it's called TOMA, top of mind awareness. I always keep a stack of $100 bills just because it's really, it shows, it's just an energy awesomeness for yourself to say, okay, not only am I helping people, but I also can take this and go and help people today, right? And I can go ahead and gift out. So it's all about TOMA. TOMA means top of mind awareness, right? So I have these little awareness reminders in front of me. It's really cool. Ask me about the thank you cards. Oof, that's amazing.
Tell me about the thank you cards.
We'll do it later. I'm shy.
Oh, yeah, you're shy. That's right. Well, I really wanted to touch on some of how you give back and making that and creating that impact with others. And you are a prolific author, and there's a stack of books behind you. So I want to talk a little bit about what started that, and because you're definitely a best-selling author. And here it comes. I don't even think that's everything.
Just a few of ours here.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's all of them.
There's
but
more over there. You're sitting on it. There's under the 31-time #1 best-selling author now, and it's pretty cool, and it's a really good way to give back as well. But I have a little joke now that I write more than I read.
I like that because you're giving back. But what creates a project for you? What makes it like, oh, you know what, this is missing, or we have this knowledge that we need to share as a group or even on your own? So what inspires you?
Really good question. I'm so glad you read it right off the text I sent you. Guys, I'm kidding. You guys, does your audience know I joke around a lot?
So, they do now.
So what inspires me? It's a really great question, actually. It's really interesting. So I just came back from another event from another friend of ours that his name's Greg, and he runs a similar event that I do, and throughout the years and so forth. I've known him for like 15 years, and somebody asked me the same question, like, what inspires you guys? Like, what inspires him to bring on certain guests in his events, and myself, certain guests of mine, or certain books like you were talking about. And it's interesting. I call it white noise. So I use my TV or Netflix or whatever, Hulu, or all the things, right? By the way, Rocket Money, don't worry about it. Just pay the extra money, get every subscription you can possibly get. So I have all these subscriptions, and the I do, and because I use this stuff for it. So the fact is, though, I watch this as kind of white noise in front of me while I'm working on something else, so another project. So I watch documentaries. I watch a lot of documentaries, and I watch different movies that are inspiring. And I'm not talking about just like the Rudy Rudiger, which we have him in one of our books, by the way, The Real Rudy. He's amazing. I have him in David and Goliath. I think I have him in, and he was from the 1990s. The movie Rudy and so forth. Really inspiring, right? To go to Notre Dame in the football scholarship. But the point is, though, I watch a lot of documentaries. Like last night, I just watched another movie called The Life List. Okay, go watch it. It's awesome. It just came out like yesterday, the day before. It's on number one on Netflix. And
Yep.
you know how it like they once they know your algorithms of what you like to watch, then they suggest it. They're like, you need to watch it. So I had that on, and it just really it inspired me, and inspired me to actually create another book series. So I'm doing another book series. Like I'm literally, I don't know if I should tell you what it is yet, because I haven't talked to my team about it, and that's the whole I'll give you some sort of anyway. There's a story behind it, but the point is, though, I get really inspired by I'm literally like, this white noise movie that I'm watching, but I'm kind of tearing up. I'm crying. I'm like, this is cool. It reminded me of like the movie back in the day about the traveling pants or something like that. It
Oh
was
yeah.
it was like a story that took on its own, and it gave so many inspiring thoughts in my mind and my heart. So this movie, The Life List, was amazing. The premise is the mother passed away, and the daughter, who's about 25 or 26 now or something, she didn't get the inheritance until she goes through what she wrote down as a 13-year-old to have a list of accomplishments, the bucket list or whatever. So
Mhm.
she has play one-on-one with the New York Knicks, a basketball player. So she ends up meeting Patrick Ewing and playing one-on-one with him, right? And doing a stand-up comedy skit. And so she does that. She does all these things. And each time she does it, she gets another like message on a DVD from the attorneys, from the estate and all that stuff. It's really touching. So I thought, this is really awesome. And there was one line. In fact, I texted to myself. So I'll tell you the line. Do you guys ever text yourself? Are we going to start recording? Is this going? Okay. Do you ever text yourself questions or comments? Like, here's 4 questions that I got from the movie. Amazing. And this is really cool. I'm not going to tell you the first part, because that's the series that I'm going to develop that I created. But she said something. The mom said to the daughter, "It's almost like a map towards your best self." I know, right? Totally inspired. So I'm coming up with something to do with letters, writing letters from you to you.
Oh, that's so good.
Mhm. And it's gonna be a whole book series, like the series that we have, like for instance, this one right here is all about the book of influence. There's 3 different books in this. There's actually 4, but this is the win-win theory, creating alignment, and likability factor, all based on Dale Carnegie's work that we learned. So
Mhm.
I'm going to create a whole letters from you to you. So it's from your older self to the younger self, and there's going to be 3 books in the series, and we're going to bring in 33 authors and 3 famous celebrity author friends of mine. So there you go. That's what inspires me. Hopefully that was that the right answer?
That was the right answer, because it was honest and entertaining as well. So yay. So I know that You are so creative. And for those that are watching, I just want to mention something. Erik's the kind of guy that he will come up with an idea or something inspires him and he'll just reach out and say, have you thought of this? And so I just wanted to say that because I think that that is so generous. It's not, most people tend to like hold on to ideas really tight and they don't share and then they never really get out the way that they should. And I'm curious for you, do you ever run into resistance when you have these ideas and you think, how am I going to make that happen? Or is it just kind of like, woohoo, let's go?
I love that. You did a great impression of me. Woo, let's go. I love that. So that's going to be the clip. We're going to take that video and send that out to social. So I love the question because there's like three, we can go for hours. This is great. So there's about three things that come to mind when you just asked me that question. So the first thing is there's a guy named Wayne that I met years ago. I met him a couple times in you're smiling because you know who I'm talking about. In Dallas, I met him a couple times, and he's a double hugger, by the way. When you hug Wayne, he hugs you and then he squeezes again. It's called a double hugger. That's what I call it. And when I met Wayne Dyer a few times, and he used to tell us a story. I don't know if I read it in some of his many, many books or some of the audio tapes. You're too young, Julianne, but we used to have, audio tapes. I used to call it Stepping on Millionaires. So I'd have my little BMW M series, and and my floorboard behind me and in the passenger seat, I'd have all these cassette tapes just float around, put them in.
Columbia House.
Oh, it's amazing. Nightingale Conant too. So, and then I met Nightingale. It was amazing. So, the point is, getting back to the point of Wayne, he used to tell us a story about having a brown suit. Okay, the brown suit was in his closet, and it's been there forever and ever. And then he said someday he's going to be buried in this brown suit. And the technique that he used was he had the suit made for him, and it was it had no pockets, zero pockets in the suit, zero, no pockets at all in the pants or anywhere. And he says, when you leave this beautiful earth, you're not taking anything with you. So it just kind of reminds you of what you were asking, which I forgot the question. What was the question again?
How do you come up against resistance when you start implementing these wonderful ideas?
Yeah. So that's the key is like, it's like, yeah, the answer is yes. The quick answer about that. I don't know why that inspired me to think about Wayne. You said something about
I think, honestly, I think it's kind of like you can't take it with you, so you might as well give it.
I think that's why I was mentioning that. But resistance, yes, of course. I mean, let me ask you a question. How many of you listening or watching or viewing or reading the transcript or whatever you're doing, how many of you are you have that voice, that inner voice in your mind? If you don't know what that inner voice is, it's the voice saying, what's the inner voice? What you talking about? That's the voice. So we all have these inner voices. And here's my process. My process is I always text myself. And have you ever done that? I do that all the time. I'm my best texter. Okay. I'm my best friend and I text myself all the time. And I text myself and I watch it, and I watch it the next day, or I open it up and I say, that's a good idea, or that's a lousy idea. What was I thinking? Right. And then what I'll do is I'll go to the place that I get my websites, domains. And I always get a domain. I've already got the domains, like lettersfromu2u.com. It's already mine. So I get the domains, and it only costs $10 to get the domain, right? Or for the year. So I just do a year. I've got about 250 domains, by the way. Okay. Every year I have 250 that rotate. And it only goes to like 3 websites, which are Mr. Awesome Swanson, habitudewarrior.com, and speakerhearts.com. There you go. I just plugged my 3 websites. Anyway, so thanks, Bill Walsh. Okay, so the point is, good techniques. So the point is, though, that I have the process is I get the website, and then I'm like, do I like that? Is it worth $10 or $20? I got 2 websites last night. It's worth $20 just to see how it flies, see how it goes. The way I think, this is a really weird answer, but the way I think is this: I used to drink. Okay. Now I don't drink. I quit drinking like 9 or 10 years ago. A buddy of mine came up to me. His name's John Asseroff. He was in The Secret. He goes, Eric, I like the other Eric. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, let's get another drink. He's like, no. And I really respect him so much that I thought, all right, I'm going to quit. And I was like, I'll just quit for 30 days, see how it goes. And then turn into a year, turn into 2 year, and now I created 3 more companies because of it. So I got rid of 3 things out of my life. I got rid of drinking coffee. I love coffee, but I don't drink that much. And I got rid of alcohol, and I got rid of negativity. Those 3 things I got rid of. And it really helps. So my point though is, it's almost like this. It reminds me of like, will I go out to a bar or restaurant and order a glass of wine that's $12, $15, whatever that is? Or can I just go get a couple more website domains for $20? I'm like, I'll just do that. And it's almost like the spaghetti against the wall kind of thing, right? I just grabbed it, and then I'm going to play around with it. And like, I just played around with it earlier today with you, like 10 minutes ago. I said, I was inspired by this, and and you went, oh, you almost got chills when I said
I did get chills.
So the test. That's the test that I do. I test it out on people. I test it first on my dogs. I said, how's that? They go, that's rough. I'm like, that's good or bad. So then I test it out with other people, and it's a really great process to do.
I love that so much. We are running low on time. We only have about 5 minutes left. And I really want to ask you my favorite question. And that is, what is something you wish that I would have asked you?
Oh man, I have two answers to that. The first thing is, I wish you would have asked me, would you like me to ask you what I wish I didn't ask you yet? And I would have said, no, don't ask me that. But the other thing is this, I want you to ask me about thank you cards like this. Bam. Okay. So ask me about thank you cards.
Yes, I want to know. I've asked before. I'm asking again. Thank you cards. Tell us about it.
Okay, so thank you cards. So here's the deal. And we teach this in our masterminds. Oh, can I tell you about my masterminds?
Oh, please. No, you haven't.
Okay, so our masterminds,
one of them. So
yeah, come to our masterminds. They're amazing. Just tell me that you met me through Julianne. And our masterminds are the Habitude Warrior Mastermind, habitudewarrior.com. You can go there and just let us know that you'd like to be a participant of it or a member. And it's all virtual, so we meet 5 times a month. It's awesome. You meet so many different people and so many different concepts. One concept is the thank you card to yourself. Okay, so we teach you. This is what I do every night. I write a thank you card. This one's blank, but the other one's downstairs. I write a thank you card to myself. So I'll take a Sharpie and I'll put in the inside. I'll say, Eric, I want to thank you so much for being such an amazing influence in my life. I can't go anywhere without you. In fact, you follow me everywhere. I love you. You're amazing. Keep doing the great work. Thank you. Love you. And then I sign you. Okay. So it's kind of a letter from you to you. And I put that somewhere, and that night I put it somewhere that I will have like a little scavenger hunt to find it. So I see it in my coffee maker or in front of my coffee maker, because I don't drink coffee. I drink this, or it's in front of, as I'm leaving the house and, in like my foyer. So thank you cards to yourself is a great way to start your day. And my mentor, my main mentor is Brian Tracy. He used to tell us, if you're going to go for a bike ride, you need to pump up your own tire before you pump up somebody else's. So do that, pump yourself up by giving yourself these amazing thoughts. Like here, I've got a jar of optimism right here, literally a jar, and all, what's in there? All my business cards, because I'm the jar of optimism. I'm awesome. So,
I love that. And I think too that if we say thank you to others, why don't we treat ourselves with that same respect? So, like you said, pumping up that tire for ourselves.
Funny you bring that up. I was in Philadelphia recently, and someone asked me, they're like, it was called the Continental, I think, the restaurant. Great place in Philly, downtown near Rittenhouse Square. And it was packed. It was really popular at the time, and it was packed. And there was people, tables everywhere, people everywhere. And I was sitting alone in a table too, right? I was sitting alone. I was having my glass of water and my meal and my appetizer and everything. And the waitress comes, and then a separate waitress comes over and says, I just want to compliment you. And I said, why? Because I'm good looking. And she goes, no, that's definitely not it. She said, because you're sitting there alone, this place is packed with tons of dates, and it was a Saturday night, and you're sitting here alone. And I just think that's really cool. And your energy is super confident. And I said, oh, thank you. And she goes, did you mean to sit alone? Like, it was a question that she probably shouldn't have asked me. Because what if I got like broken up with or something?
Yep.
But I said, yeah, this is what I do. I take myself out to dinner. I take myself out, and I enjoy life, because whether I'm with somebody or not, it's okay. I'm still with myself, and I love that. So that was just an experience that I think is really cool.
I love that. And on that note, we have to end, which I don't want to. So you definitely have to come back, please.
26 more minutes. Let's.
Erik, thank you so much for being with us today. You're always such a positive person, and dropping those knowledge bombs and wisdom and just such positivity, optimism, mindset hints, all the things that we're looking for. So thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure. Great seeing you, Julianne. We'll see you soon. Rock and roll. See ya.
See ya. Everyone, that is all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us. We will be back again next Thursday. Until then, enjoy your week.